Hey, lovely people, welcome again to another episode of Tapestry. I am so excited for today's episode. If this is your first time here, you are warmly welcome. My name is Antoinette and I am your host. Today, we're talking about something very interesting. But before we get into the topic, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share, and also comment in the comment section. All right, so we're talking about dating. So we know, or all the singles know, of course, that dating out here is not easy. It's not a joke, okay? People are saying that it is very ghetto, it is wild. It's hard to find your person out here in the streets. So today we want to talk about it. And I have my lovely brother and sister in the studio to help me with that. I have sister Irene and brother Kwame in the studios today. Welcome guys to
Thank
Tapestry.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so as the saying goes, dating is ghetto. How true is it? Why is it hard for people nowadays to find the right person out here in the streets?
I think it's because of many other reasons, and one of the reasons is that I think is how this world has become now, especially when it comes to social media. Social media tend to show us different things that kind of influence our thinking, our preferences. So then people want to have what is being sold out on social media. So
Right.
this kind of make it hard because it's not everyone who is having that lifestyle. It's not every man or every woman who is having this kind of body. It's not everyone who's living this kind of life. So because we've been allowed ourselves to be watching and listening to these things, it has influenced us, and whoever comes to our life is not enough.
That's
And
true.
when it becomes that, it makes it hard for you to find the right person. Because these people, even some of these people we see on social media, kind of fit this kind of life. But because we just consume everything, it has become part of us, and that's what we've been looking for, thinking that that is what is the
It's
reality.
a real thing.
But it's not that, and because of that, we keep moving from here, and then it becomes very hard
To find the
to
one.
find one. Yeah.
Because we have this expectation, oh, they have to be, 6'5", with six packs.
With this kind of body,
Yeah, they have to earn,
this
seven figures. So all of that. Okay. What about you, Irene?
I would say with what you just said, people not setting realistic goals for themselves and also having way too high expectations for whoever they meet. So, for example, you yourself, you're not, let's use financials for example. You yourself, you're not making a lot of money, but you think you can get someone that gets like more than, I would say times 10 of what you get, which is like very unrealistic for the society that we are in right now. So it's just people not having like realistic goals for themselves.
Okay. So in terms of, I mean, talking back about finances, is it wrong for people to want like, especially women, because women want security, right? They want to feel safe. So when it comes to earning, in terms of the man earning more, they expect the man to earn more. Is that wrong? If I want someone who earns, maybe I'm not making six figures, but I want someone who earns, that much, so that it would not be a problem. Because on the flip side, I think, and this is personal opinion, that men kind of feel intimidated when the women they are dating earn more than them. So in order to prevent that kind of conflict, I want my man to earn more. Is that bad?
I personally don't think it's bad, but then it's the intention you come along with when you're like you want the person that you're going to date, especially if you're a female. If you want the man that you're going to be with to be earning more, why do you, I know it's going to be like, oh, because we want to live in a good community, or we want to have a good financial thing and help our children when they're like going to college, so that our kids will not struggle and work and go to college at the same time. But at the same, let me put it this way: why would you want someone that you're going to be with have a lot of money when you are not working hard to get money for
Well, I'm
yourself.
also working. Okay, I'm also working,
So is your
but
money going to be for? I'm sorry, that I'm asking
there's
just the
no.
questions, but is
I'm
your
asking
money
for a friend. It's not me.
is your money going to be for just yourself or for the
For the
family?
family.
It's
And
our
is your
money, but
Mhm.
I want my future husband to earn more.
so are the two of you going to put your paychecks in like one joint account, or you're
Mhm.
going to have your own account for
Okay, this
yourself
is
and
that's
your
far from the
I
point.
know, but with what you just said, it's like we have more expectation on the men, and we the women are like not trying to help
I
ourselves when
think.
it
Mhm.
comes to that.
Well, that's also another side, but I think the reason why I mentioned that women expect their men to earn more is because, like some women will say that if the man, they won't respect a man who earns less. And I've heard people say that, oh, I can't be with someone who earns less because the respect. It's true. Like I've heard women say this,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I mean that's not my case. I'm just saying that for the other people, that's not
Okay.
my
Okay.
experience. But it's a real thing out here, and
Okay.
some men too will feel like, oh, if the woman is earning too much,
Mhm.
they won't feel comfortable. They feel like they'll feel intimidated. So
Okay.
you know.
For me, I think there's nothing wrong when you expect your man to make it,
Mm-hmm.
but it shouldn't be something that is unrealistic, and also it shouldn't be that. That's why there's a saying that cut your coat according to your size.
Mm-hmm.
So this person that you're in a relationship with, you know the kind of job that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know how hard working he is,
Mm-hmm.
how he's trying, and you know what he can afford.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know what he can afford, and why then do you expect more than that? Why then do you make unrealistic decisions or any other stuff more than what he's making? If you think he's not
Mm-hmm.
making what you want to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy, then don't move with him in the first place. But when you move with him and you get to know what he's
Mm-hmm.
doing,
Mm-hmm.
I think you should be rather encourage him to keep doing and be content with whatever that he's providing for you.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, this is
Hmm.
not me, but
Hmm.
the other
But
ladies
but I
out
think
there.
you made mention of that there are some women who says if they make more than their husbands,
Mm-hmm.
they intend to disrespect them.
There, I mean, it's. I think there is a tendency to, right? Because I feel like they become the breadwinner or the
Okay.
main.
So if the
So I guess
man makes
it
more,
depends. Mm-hmm.
you don't respect
I
disrespect the woman. But when the woman makes more, it gives room for the woman to disrespect the man.
I don't necessarily think like that is how people intend for it to be like, oh, I'm going to disrespect
Not yeah,
my
not like
husband
that.
or spouse, but
Mhm.
it's just how your partner is going to relate or react to how much you're actually bringing into the house. Because let's say, for example, the lady earns like, let's say, three times more than the man just
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
because she has a good job.
Mhm.
And the husband has the same qualifications, but he's not getting the opportunity to work at the same place.
Exactly.
It's just you helping him out, not you putting him down. Like, oh, you think you're making more, so I'm going to put you down every day. First of all, then that is not a good marriage in the first place. So it's just
But I think it will not happen like it will not be intentional,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
sometimes indirectly,
Yeah,
and I feel like the men will also feel that way because once you know you're not making
you feel that intimidation.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was about to ask you this question: will
Mhm.
you date somebody who earns more, like way more than you?
For me, I think there's nothing wrong with that,
Okay.
because whatever that, if there's already a conversation or a discussion that whatever I make is yours, whatever you make is mine, or whatever we both are making is for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, I think we'll not even be thinking about how much the other person makes. If we are keeping it to ourselves, that's when we begin to think, oh, my
Mm-hmm.
wife makes this more than me. But if it's all coming to the same bowl, I
Okay.
don't think there will be that, oh, you make this more than me, so because of that I should be doing this or that. No,
So it won't make you feel less of a
no,
person.
it wouldn't.
Because I've heard men say like, nah, when it comes to money, I want to be the, I want to make more. I want to be the one bringing in more
I mean,
income.
that's an ego of every man.
Exactly.
You want to take charge. You want to, I mean, call the shots.
Provide for your house.
Yeah, which I mean is expected of every man. But it also doesn't make you less of a man if your wife is making more than you.
Okay, that's a good point. So apart from, the social media thing, what are some other mistakes that people make when they are dating or getting to know, you know,
I would say not
people?
finding the right person, not finding your person in the right place, because going out to a place that your soul does not belong to find someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, it's so unrealistic for Christians. And I know some people like, oh, we have good people in some places, but then don't find that good person over there. Go somewhere else that you know that this person is a good person. Even if the person is not a good person, the person is like close to or something. Don't go to a bar and look for someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. If you actually want to have a good marriage, that's it. Because let's say you get married after finding the person in the bar, you're going to give birth to kids. Are you going to tell your child that, oh, I met your mom in the bar? If your child is going out to the
Maybe it
bar,
was just by accident you
well,
found
if your
yourself in the
child is
bar.
not going out to the if your child is going out to the bar, are you going to tell him or her not to go because you don't find good people over there? The child is going to be disrespectful to you and be like, oh, I thought you found dad over
I
there.
mean, I think I kind of want to differ because
Yeah,
even,
I also
yeah,
differ.
because even, listen, talking about good people, even in the church, not everybody in the church
I know that, but
is, so
I know
You
there
can
are not
still
like
meet
a lot
evil
of
men in
good
the church.
people in the church, but at the same time, don't go to a bar and find someone you want to spend the rest of your life
Okay.
with.
I mean, well, I think I've heard stories where, both the couple were like on in the world, they were, unsaved and then they became saved, blah,
So,
blah, blah.
would you want
But
it to be like that? Would be your situation where you want to be saved with your partner afterwards, after you
I'm just
find the
saying,
person.
for
Okay, so
example.
well, okay.
Okay, I think I bet to differ. It is not about where you meet the person. For me, I believe it's the circumstances to which you meet the person. You can meet the person even at the mountains, and you go home and this person will be like a violent person or the,
It's good to find
You'll be
people
like,
when you go hiking. Some
yeah.
well,
So for me, I don't think the place, but the circumstance and the mindset that the person is bringing.
it's
For me,
very
I
key.
think that's the key, and that's one of the things I think most people get it wrong. We kind of enter into the relationship with the wrong mindsets on the wrong notes, and it kind of decide whatever the relationship or the marriage becomes tomorrow. Because it's like entering a house. How you enter the house defines how you're going to live in the house. Yeah,
That's
so
true.
I think it's not about the place, but the mindset and the circumstance to which you meet the person.
Yeah, because even in the church,
You can still meet wrong people.
trust me.
and you
Yeah,
have a story to
Yeah.
tell.
not personal experience, but there are people who portray themselves as, okay, the man can be like a worship leader, they can speaking in tongues, but
It can still be
on the
evil.
flip side,
Yeah.
it's like a whole different person. So even meeting people in the church, it can be such, you know, it can be hard to even know people because in the church, people kind of put up an image. Oh, we're all children of God. Oh, we're all, righteous, whatever, right? So even in the church, it's even harder trying to get to know somebody in the church.
Yeah, but someone
I
in the bar, you already know who they are and whatever that they are doing over there. People may even go there because of certain circumstance that push them there.
Exactly.
But on a real, they are good people.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? God may use you to change them. And you don't go to the bar with the mindset of I'm going to look for a man or a woman. You see, you don't go with
Exactly.
that mentality.
Mm.
So if you are going with the mentality, then you will say, I'll not go to a bar to look for a man. But circumstances around,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, brought both of you together. One way, the one thing led to the other,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys got married. Are you saying because you met
The
this person
person
at
at
the
the
bar, it
bar.
means the,
It's
I
a
mean,
no-no.
it's a no.
I'm just saying
Okay.
that that is not, if you are a Christian, that is
I
not a
mean, I
It's
don't
not
realistic
what
think
you
any
think.
place.
Christian would
Well, intentionally, like go
intentionally
to the bar, be like,
go to,
"Hey, I'm
hey,
looking for
I'm going to
Mhm.
look
my
for a man.
husband or my
No.
spouse."
Okay.
But talking about going to the bar to look for your husband, people actually come to church just to look for their spouses.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
I think that is, that is straight up wrong for me. Going to the church, you go to church to worship God. So that shouldn't be your main purpose. I'm going to church so that someone will find me attractive. Then I'll get married to the person.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. My
Yeah.
God.
So with the church thing that you're talking about, I mean, we all come to church with different mindsets, with different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's wrong to come to church with a mindset of I want to find someone here. I mean, if there's any other better place to find a spouse, it should be the house of God.
So you said you don't think it's wrong
I
to.
don't think it's wrong, but it shouldn't be your
Your
main
main
focus.
focus.
That is what I said. Going to church for the main purpose of finding someone to get married to is wrong.
For that one, I
Mm-hmm.
kind
Okay.
of agree with you.
Okay.
But also, you go with your minds open, that open for the possibilities. I don't think that one is wrong, because you go to church for many reasons,
Mhm.
right? So
That's true.
if it's part of the many reasons, I don't think it's wrong, but it shouldn't be the sole reason.
While you're in the church.
I'm in the church to worship God
Mm.
and also to find someone. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it shouldn't be your sole reason.
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah.
I guess Irene disagrees.
I do.
So, in terms of dating, how long should you wait until you introduce your partner to your family? Is there a specific timeline, or it's like whenever the two of you are ready, or
I'd say when you feel comfortable with the person well enough for you to be like, oh, I want you to meet my siblings before you actually meet my parents, because I think my siblings know me more than my parents, just because I talk to them and I can relate to them a little bit more than my parents. So it's going to go from, I'll probably start with my sister, then one of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of my siblings, then my
Mhm.
dad before my mom, or my mom before my dad, whichever one that
So
comes
is it
first.
like maybe 3 months into dating, 6 months? Like how? There's no specific timeline.
You want to take that?
Yeah, I would say some people be like, oh, there's no specific timeline, but if you actually want to continue introducing the person to at least a sibling, is going to be like, for me, like 2 months in, if you think it's going somewhere. But then if it's just friendship, my sister knows like most of my friends that I
Mhm.
did school with and other things with. So I'm like, yeah, but then if it's not going anywhere, I'm not going to introduce you like especially to my sister, like, oh, look at this person, I want you to meet this person because I think this is going somewhere. No, you have to know that this person is your like partner, boyfriend, or whatever it's called before you introduce the person. You just don't go like, oh, this is someone I'm talking to. No, the
Guess-
person has to
mhm.
make it, sorry, the person has to make it clear to you that,
We are official.
yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
and I'm going to pursue you for something in the future.
What about you?
I think as I side with what she's saying is when the two of you are ready, and especially with the involvement of parents, it wouldn't be a bad thing if you're taking some decisions like this and you're involving your parents. It wouldn't be bad, but you need to also know the state that your friendship or the relationship with this person is heading to before you bring it before them, because immediately it comes to the parents, that's huge.
Yeah.
Before you make it known to them, that is huge. So ask yourself, have you had a good friendship with this person? How's your friendship going? Where is it heading to? Is there anything promising? I think when you begin to see these signs, and also as you pray towards it, when you begin to see these signs and you are involving parents, I think it wouldn't be a problem, but not right away.
Not on the get go.
Yeah, not on the get go, and I don't think it's also time bound, or it it varies.
Okay.
There are some people just 2 months they feel okay to involve family and friends and everything, but the other people you also want to take your time, and some also do it based on experience.
That's true.
Maybe in from the get go, from their previous relationship, it was known and it didn't go well. So coming in their next relationship, they just want to also be a little patient. So get to know each other, their experiences, and how their family respond to some of these things before both of you decide to say, okay, let's go and share with our parents.
So what if, maybe you guys have been dating for a good amount of time and the person has still not, and you feel like this is the time where there should be some family introduction, and the person, in this case, the man has not introduced you to his family or to his friends. Irene, what would you do? Like, how would you go about that?
I
Go ahead.
I think if you can add the woman too, because it can be either way.
Okay, I don't want to be biased,
Okay,
so
good.
the woman, the woman also.
I think if the person that you're seeing hasn't introduced you to at least one friend, then there's like a question mark over there for whatever relationship you think it's going on. Because first of all, I think it's not good for a woman to ask a man like, where do you see this going? Because it's like you
It's
are
not
not,
okay for them to ask.
yeah. If the woman asks you, where do you think this is going, it means you're not giving her like the reassurance that you see this going somewhere.
But
So,
I think you should ask that question. I feel like, because women, we want to know, we need assurance.
Yep.
that is why I said the person is supposed to tell you. You're not
But
supposed
sometimes, okay,
Sometimes you have to ask.
yeah, because
You know,
sometimes it's not coming.
there are people who are not that vocal. I mean, you need to
Exactly.
push them or press them for them to speak up.
to. So it's like you going for someone that you know doesn't match your energy. Yeah, because
Well,
Mm,
if
okay.
you
not
go out to,
entirely.
I think it is, but because if you go out to ask the person that you're seeing that, what are we? That is like something that I don't see myself asking anyone that question personally.
So you feel like the person should,
Should be able to.
like,
there should
show
be a
you-
reassurance from his side that, oh, I see this going somewhere and I want you to be my girlfriend, not him just
Okay.
going with the flow. I'm talking to you every day, so I think this is
Okay.
going somewhere. Because if, like, going back to when I said my sister is going to meet the person first, I'm going to introduce you to my dad when I know that this is actually going to end up being like my future husband. That is when I'm going to introduce you to my parents, because I'm not going to let my parents be attached, not like attached in that way,
get
but
to know the person.
get to know
before
the
it gets
person, and the
into
person
something.
being a family friend. Then it's like, now you're no more together, and people be like,
becomes awkward.
we know it's your fault because
You
he
did
doesn't
this.
show any bad signs in front of us. But I'm like, well, the person is not all that when he's with
Yeah.
me alone. So
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think on that?
I think I beg to differ a little
Okay.
bit. Be- because when it comes to women, even if you voluntarily assure them today, tomorrow
So I ask you.
they would still want reassurance.
In
So,
what way?
okay, I'm coming.
Okay.
Either one way or the other, whether they ask you or you tell them,
Mm-hmm.
they will still ask. Do assure her today about this thing. Tomorrow, she will still want you to affirm it.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's because of the person's character.
No, it's not because
Mm.
the person has done something. Let's say today you tell her,
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Tomorrow she'll come back and ask,
You still love
are
me?
you sure you love me?
Well, if you are still with the person, it's like she's just trying to pull your legs, not like
No,
being
sometimes
sincere. Like, oh, do you
no no
think you
no no
love
no
me, or
no.
it's just
Sometimes
because?
it's not about the person is just trying. They just want to have that
Assurance
reassurance
that.
every
Mm-hmm.
day. Most women want that every day. They want to be assured every single day. So one way or the other, you may ask it one day. Even if the man keeps
Mm-hmm.
assuring you, one day you yourself will also ask. So I don't think there's
Yeah.
because you
Mm-hmm.
asking makes it look like maybe the man
It's not
is
serious.
not doing something right. Sometimes,
Sometimes you're not doing it.
yes, sometimes it may be true,
Hmm.
but it is not always true.
Okay.
Mm.
I still don't agree, but
I
Okay.
mean I do
okay.
agree with some both
With who?
aspect. So because I think you should ask that question, like what are we doing?
Mhm.
Where is this
Mhm.
going?
Mhm.
Just to get a timeline as to
Because you're
what
on a journey, so you need
exactly
to
you want to
know.
know what is the end. If the end is marriage, like okay, so when is that going to happen? 2 years from now, a year from now, like what are we doing
We
to
said we
set
will do this
goals?
last month.
That
Mm-hmm.
is
What are we?
different from what
Mhm.
I don't think you understand what I was saying. I'm just
Okay.
saying when it comes to the part that the person is going to ask you to be his girlfriend,
Mhm.
like you've been talking to the person for more than 6 months.
Mhm.
And the person has not said anything about.
Anything about you being his girlfriend, and in his mind or in your mind, you're like, oh, I have a boyfriend, but then he hasn't actually said it to you.
Oh, but that
Well,
that is
that one
different.
that's different.
Well, that is what I
Okay,
was
I guess we,
saying.
we didn't understand each
Okay.
other. I mean,
Yeah.
once you
Okay.
haven't said anything, then we are friends.
Yeah. Then we are
Yeah,
friends.
Okay.
we are friends. So once he says, okay, I want us to, take this to a different level,
Mm-hmm.
To
then we
level.
can have that
That is what I was
conversation.
saying. So.
Okay,
Oh,
so I guess we
okay.
didn't understand each other.
Okay. Attention to detail a little bit.
Yeah, so I definitely think that you have to ask that question after you guys are in that,
Mhm.
space, just so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that you know where you're going into.
That's an update to how things are going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
but
you don't want to
mhm.
leave the relationship all open whereby you don't know where you're going and you end up 3 years, 5 years, you're still in the
Exactly, and you're
relationship.
still going with the
Mm-hmm.
flow.
Mm. Because relationship is work, right?
That's
It's
It's
true.
work.
work that you're not getting paid for. You need
Yes.
to add that to it.
I mean, one day you get paid for that
If it works out.
if it works out.
That's the risky part. So I have another question, or more of a concern. I feel like most of the time when women ask men, okay, like where are we going? Sometimes men tend to feel pressured.
Hmm.
And I don't understand why. It's not as if I'm asking you to like propose to me right now.
That is
Okay.
why I said it's not like realistic for the woman to ask, because the man is going to feel pressured, and if he doesn't want to do anything yet.
That's when you should know.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I feel like I need to know. Okay, if you're going this way, just let me know.
Mhm.
But sometimes they feel like, oh, this is too much pressure. Like,
Mhm,
you know what I'm
mhm,
saying? So
mhm.
why do men tend to feel pressure? It's not as if we're asking you to
Oh,
like
okay. Why
marry
do
us
men?
today, you know?
For me, I think it depends on the length of the relationship,
Mm,
the readiness of both of you.
okay.
People start dating when they are not ready. I think that's one of the mistakes because relationship is work. It comes with some sort of responsibilities and
Mm-hmm.
take sometimes psychologically or technically people are not ready. It's certain circumstances that brought them into the relationship.
Right.
So when the reality of relationship begins to comes in, then when you ask some of these questions, definitely it will be an issue for them. But if it's something both of them or the man is ready to go into the relationship and he has agreed, he knows this is the journey. These are the things that are gonna come on the way. So if you are asking these questions, he wouldn't feel that pressure because he knows what is ahead. And also sometimes the reason why men feel pressure is you already know his current state, but you still ask.
We need
What should
assurance.
he do? Because the end goal is money for whatever question you are asking. That is the end goal. And maybe
Well,
that time that you're asking the question, when you look at his current state, his financial status, he's not ready. What are you going to do?
I mean, sometimes it's not really like, oh, you know, I want us to get married like in a year or two. It's just trying to understand like what is the goal, because like women we need to see the vision. We need it has to be
Okay,
clear.
okay. The
You
goal
understand?
is marriage. So
Right.
what else again?
But sometimes we need more. And I think
What is the more? I
women
want
will
to
ask that.
understand
Like,
them.
we need to see more energy, more like action leading on to that goal. You understand what I'm saying?
But do you know when it comes to relationships, since it's not marriage, you are still limited to certain things.
So how long are you willing to wait before you actually get married to the person?
That discussion begins from the get go. When you guys met before you even enter into the relationship, because you get to discuss your strengths at that very moment, and when both of you think you should be ready to settle down. So that discussion you've already had that discussion. Where you are going is already been discussed. You don't enter into it and spend 1 year, then you come back to ask where are we going when. But this is being discussed. So what was discussed? What was discussed is that he's working on this, you are working on this, and your goal is by 2 years time you should be okay enough to get married. Maybe the 2 years has come, then you ask for an update. This was the plan. So even when the person shares with you, time to time you can ask for an update. How is it going? In order to, so because you want the person to keep up to whatever that he or she said, because you want the 2 years to come, and whatever you want to achieve before the 2 years,
Should have been
you,
achieved.
it should be been achieved. So this discussion should be from the get go. You don't enter into it and now that you're coming to ask, hey,
Where we go?
where are we going? Are we going to date? Or
Is it 2 years after you've given the person a ring, or 2 years from when you actually ask the person to be your girlfriend?
for the ring? I think when ring comes in, it's like it shouldn't take long
Yeah.
to, yeah.
That is what, okay.
But from the initial stage, I don't think you give ring from the initial
Oh,
stage.
I,
When
It's like
maybe
no
after
one wants
the
it.
relationship has flourished for some time, and both of you think, okay,
You're ready to
you're ready,
settle.
then the ring comes in, then it takes a short while to get married.
Okay.
yeah.
That's a good point. So talking about, we're still on the topic of dating. What do you guys think about the list? I know women have their own list. Do guys also have theirs? I know
We have books.
you have books, right? So what do you think about, keeping a list of preferences or things that you want to see? And if the person does not match up with the list, when should you, kind of cut down on the expectations, and when should you not cut down on certain expectations?
I think one expectation that no one should ever cut out of their list is like getting someone that has the fear of God and is spiritual. That shouldn't be something that you cut out of your
Definitely.
list, because you don't know where you're going to end up if you cut that out of your list. And also, one other thing that shouldn't be cut out of your list is someone that who doesn't respect his or her family.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
And I
definitely a good
think
point.
I think everything else after that, well, and someone who doesn't respect, that is just,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
definitely a red flag. Yeah. What about
Anything
you?
else after that is like, it's your own preferences, but then you shouldn't just lower your list just to the three. Those three are very important, but it shouldn't be only those three. You should have something more apart from that.
Mm. What about you, Kwame?
I would say to every list, there are more important, items on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's like going to the market. Though you may have a long list, but when you get to the market, depending on the amount of money you
When you
have on
have.
you, you definitely go with the most important ones,
Mm-hmm.
which some of these important ones are non-negotiable.
Exactly.
So when you look on your list, what are some of the things that are non-negotiable?
Mm-hmm.
Those ones you don't cancel them, but the ones that are negotiable and you can manage them,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to 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 cancel it. And you shouldn't. I was saying it's good to have expectations in a relationship, but not too much
Not too
expectations.
much.
Mhm.
Because too much of expectations leads to disappointment. That's one thing I've come to know. Yes, everyone has to have some sort of expectation,
Mm-hmm.
but it shouldn't be too much. Because
Okay.
one thing you should know that the person you're dealing with is not a superhuman being.
That's true.
He's human as you are.
Mhm.
In as much as you've seen some goodies in the person, they
Mm-hmm.
still have flaws.
Definitely.
Even with the goodies you've seen, there are still bad nuts that they
Among
have
them. Mm-hmm.
among them. So you shouldn't over expect. And when you begin to see that one, then you begin to wonder, I think I'm with the wrong person or that.
So
What?
that is when I think like, forgiveness comes in,
Mhm.
when you have someone that you think you see a good future with. That's something that you don't appreciate. You're supposed to
Mhm.
be willing to forgive the person
Mhm.
and not think, oh,
Mhm.
you did this, so I think that's all.
That's
Mhm.
No.
like,
But then
yeah.
Mhm.
if, let's say the person is cheating on you, I don't think that is a place to forgive the person.
I mean,
I mean,
clearly they've shown you that they're not,
mhm.
you know,
You
Mhm.
forgive
faithful.
the person like 2 weeks after you get married, and the person starts again. It's like,
Mhm.
Okay. So what about, people who date for potential? Maybe the person is not, they have a certain quality that you're looking for,
Mhm.
but it hasn't really like, materialized yet.
Mhm.
But you're hoping that, you know, it will come to that point, but it's not there yet. For
Mhm.
instance, you're looking for someone who is, prayerful, spiritual,
Mhm.
and maybe they are now just starting out in the faith, right?
Mhm.
And their spiritual life is not really there yet, but you
Mhm.
like them and you think that, oh, okay, this person might be the one.
Mhm.
And you're looking for that potential where they'll be prayerful, but they're not there yet. Should you still, that's just an example, but it could be many other things. Should you date for potential, or it's a no?
I would say it's yes and no. Yes and no
Okay.
in the sense that especially with the faith one,
Mm-hmm.
no, don't compromise on when it comes to faith. That
Okay.
the person, because I see some sort of potential, because the person might have even come to church just because of you
mm-hmm.
and be pretending for a while just to
Just to
make you know,
get you.
yeah, make you
Mm-hmm.
know that, oh, they are in the faith. So when it comes to that, make sure the
Mm-hmm.
person have a good standing when it comes to their faith. The person doesn't have to be a church person,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
everyday church person, but you can see that this person have some sort of fear for God.
Fear of God. Okay.
So it shouldn't be that oh, because the person is trying to come to church, so then I see the potential. Don't fall for that.
What about in terms of
But mhm.
maybe in terms of career wise, or there's a
Y-
potential in
yeah
the
for
person,
yeah
they're not
for that
there.
one, and it should be something you are seeing, not what you have been told.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing it, but the person is not there. So how
Yeah, for that
long?
one, I think it's
Okay,
fine.
but how long? Because sometimes,
Mhm.
oh, we are working towards it.
Mhm.
1 year goes by, we are
Mhm.
working two.
Mhm.
We're working towards it for like 10 years.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that the person has told you this, It should be something you
You
yourself
are
are
No,
seeing.
seeing.
you've seen it, but then still
So
10
and
years.
you know how long it's gonna take. I mean, when it comes to career, you yourself can even do research and know that this person is in this level.
Yeah.
By this time, they should be in this
In this
level.
level, and you're not there.
So you see it yourself. Then, but if it's like you've closed yourself up and you are just being fed with what he's telling you, it will take you 10 years, and he will continue to tell you the same thing.
Well, that's true. Any thoughts on this, Irene?
I would say when it comes to like nurturing the person, there's no way I'm going to be in a relationship with someone and trying to teach the person how to grow again. That wasn't my job, so no.
I kind of
I bet you
disagree.
differ.
No,
disagree.
with what you said, no, when it comes to like your spiritual life and like career, that can be worked on. It can be worked on before you actually get into the marriage, but anything else apart from that, I'm not the one supposed to teach you.
In terms of behavior,
It can still be worked on.
behavior
So
could
you
definitely
have
be worked
someone
on.
that does not respect and be like, "Oh, I want to teach you how to respect you."
Let me
That wasn't my.
let me tell you
Okay.
this. Then what is
Irene.
you know the relationship? What is the point of the relationship?
Exactly.
Is to build up something. What are you building? You're building character. You're building human relations. You are building things that you used to do by yourself, but now you're trying to learn how to do with someone. You build all those things. That's what you're building. You're building something that tomorrow you both can stand on. And you say you are not willing to work on it,
I'm
then
just
there's no
saying.
point for the
I'm just
relationship.
saying the respect part. First of all, if the person has a fear of God in him, then the person respects. So
It's
if
not
you,
always the case.
It's
I
not
mean,
always the
people are.
well, then that person is not real to
Okay.
me.
Okay, let me tell you this. You know, the environment people grow up from affects them. Where how you were nurtured is different from the way I was nurtured.
That's true.
Where you grew up from is different from the way I also grew up. So I grew up to understand certain things different from the way you also grew up to understand certain things. There are even certain tones in the environment I grew up is normal, but in your environment it's not cool. Then we come to me, then I show that part of me to you that seems to be disrespectful. What do you do?
Now I'm saying straight up, someone being disrespectful, not like oh the person. Let's say the person raises his voice. First of all, no one is going to ever raise his voice at me. If you're not my dad, don't do it. It's very simple. But then
Okay.
anything else after that, then I'm like,
But on the initial stage, give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
okay.
That we are all coming from different backgrounds with different characters. You are not meeting an angel.
That's true.
Well, that is true.
Talking
So-
about realistic expectations.
I know I said that, but still.
So that's why you need to work on it here. Whereby when you try working on it and it's not working, it's not workable, then it will be part of your list that you will not want to compromise on, because you are in the relationship to see tomorrow. So if you're in it and things are not working, then meaning you are not seeing tomorrow. So then you can quit.
What I just said, I said respect was part of the first three. So
Oh, okay.
okay.
Very controversial topics. But before we wrap up, what are some of the or questions that you would consider very important to ask somebody on a first date? Things that you want to know.
For me,
On
your
a first date.
relationship, how's your relationship with your family, your parents?
That's a first
Yeah,
question.
one of the first questions.
See, that's it. Just a relationship with your family.
Yep. Because that's very dear to me. How you treat, how you are related with your parents or your family will determine how, if you meet my parents
You
or
will treat
meet my
them.
family, you relate with them. So because after whatever I've had with you, I'll take you home.
Exactly.
A family will need to meet you. How are you going to meet them? So before anything, before I even start building anything with you, I would want to know. So for me, one of the questions mostly, even if we talk, I may be asking, how's your mom? How's your dad? How's your family? Just to know your response. Your response alone will let me know if you have issues with them or not.
That's a
Yeah,
good
so
one.
yeah, so for me, that's one of the first things I will ask.
I would also say like with what he just said, I would say adding to that, I would say how you treat people. Because if you treat someone very bad, there's no way I'm going to be working with you.
But I feel like these things are not. People can say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yep. On the first
exactly,"
day, they can say,
you know,
"Oh,
because you're showing off your
oh,
best self.
yep."
So you can only see these things
Hmm.
once you're around
Around the
them,
person.
in
It's
a
not
group setting.
always your best self when you actually go to a restaurant and
On the
they
first date,
On the first day,
well
definitely a.
no, I'm just
people
saying that and
come.
someone the waitress or the waiter gets your order wrong and you're starting to
Or
be
something
mean.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
be
yeah.
mean to the person, I'm like, well, that is not how to act. That is not how you're supposed to be brought up, not questioning your parents'
So this one, you
upbringing for you.
witness it yourself,
Exactly.
not what they are telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel like it's.
If you ask them,
Mm-hmm.
they will not tell you.
That is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm going to straight up ask the person, oh, how do you treat people? No. I'm going
Exactly.
to find out for myself how
Okay.
you treat
Okay.
people.
And even sometimes you can even bring out a scenario.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
You can
Mm-hmm.
even bring a scenario to just hear how they respond to it. They can let you know, this person, this is how he treats
Mm-hmm.
people. So sometimes you don't have to necessarily see it, but you can bring up a scenario, a conversation. Then you try to either get to know their response,
Mm-hmm.
and that can really tell you that, oh, this
This
is the kind of
person.
person I'm dealing with.
Okay. So what is one advice you would give other single people out there who are like very much frustrated in this, dating pool? You're like, it's never gonna happen for me. What would you tell them?
Say there is hope.
Amen.
Yep, there's hope.
There is hope. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would say pray,
Mm,
have a good mindset, a realistic mindset, and just make a move
make a
and be
move.
willing and ready to work, because it's not what is seen on social media.
Amen. That's true.
There's so much work to it. You will see the ugliness and all these things. It all helps build you up. So be
Mm-hmm.
ready and willing to go through it. If you're not willing and ready to go through it,
Don't
don't
try.
venture.
Okay. What about you, Irene? Any advice for the single ladies?
I just said there is hope, but I was also thinking about being willing to work towards whatever you want to get. So actually putting in the work and also being nice to people because you don't know who you're going to meet.
That's
So
true.
if you just walk around and call yourself like a good person, be mean to people, you don't know where you're going to meet your future spouse. So just being nice to people in general, it's not that hard to be
Be
nice to
nice.
people. Being nice doesn't cost like money. So
That's true.
yeah.
And I also add that, be, especially as women, because we want to be pursued, but put yourself out there. Because sometimes, we hide. How are you going to find your future spouse? Like, who is going to find you, So put yourself out there, ladies. Talk to people, get to know people. Don't run away when you close from church. I know most of us are guilty, but we are
Stay back
trying
and
to
talk to some
change.
of us.
Amen.
So what
So,
if question? What if the person actually doesn't like want? What did you say?
like talking to people, putting yourself out there,
No, before that.
staying after church.
Yes.
Don't rush off when church
Mhm.
service is over.
Mhm.
Socialize.
Yep.
What if you have something to do?
You don't have something to do every
You have
day.
I
yes, you have something to do, but it's not
You
every
know, it's
day.
not every
he
day.
just said you have something to do. So
But it's not every Sunday that you
It's
have
not
to
every
rush off.
Sunday. Yep.
You know.
okay.
And the thing is, you said one only if you don't want to be in a relationship one day or get married. But only if you want, you cannot stay in your house and be thinking someone will come find you.
I just remembered what I was going to say. What if the person is not ready for a relationship? You
That's a
said you should
different
put
thing.
yourself out there.
No,
That's a
but
different. If you're not
Okay.
ready, that's
You-
fine. But
but you don't only put yourself out when
you're
you are ready for a relationship. Human relation is very important. the church that we've come is for us to interact, get to know people, build connections. Who knows tomorrow? And sometimes we may put timelines on when we think we'll be ready for a relationship,
That's true.
but it might not be so. The question is that timeline in line with that of God?
That's true.
So, in as much as we're thinking, oh, I'm not ready, I'm doing this, I'm busy with this, also be open up for the will of God too. Just talk to. You're not talking to people just because you want a relationship.
Just getting to know, just being friendly. That's all.
Okay.
Because that could lead
Sometimes
to
you even get to
something.
know how to talk to a guy or a lady from that time, and it builds you up when that time comes. Because there's some guys, you may be in a relationship with them, and when you call them, you have to be the one talking. They don't even know how to bring a conversation. All that they ask is, "Have you eaten? Have you
That's
eaten?"
true.
It could also be you, the lady, that's
You don't know
you
how to
you
talk
don't,
to
yeah.
guys.
So just these interactions with people at church, it kind of brings your confidence, so that when you meet the opposite sex, you also know how to talk. Yeah. So don't rush when church is over.
Yeah. I
No,
really.
I don't rush when church is over. I take pictures with her all the time.
I don't
So
get to see
Okay.
you.
probably because he ran off after church.
No.
All right. I guess.
I'm always the last person who leaves.
Okay.
Well, this has been a very good discussion. I believe viewers out there have been encouraged to, keep the hope alive, and one day you'll find your person. If you have enjoyed this episode, which I think you did, make sure you're liking it, subscribing, and share it as well. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.